Welcome your host, Caddy Frink, as she leads discussions about substance use disorder and the journey to recovery. You're listening to Redefining Recovery, a recovery revolution.
Hello, hello, hello. Here we are. Who is with me? My name is Caddy Frink at Redefining Recovery, a recovery revolution. Who's across the mic for me?
Sarah Kemp.
Sarah Kemp. Sarah Kemp, like?
The ice cream.
There you go. That's what it is.
My tagline.
Your tagline. It was the thing that when I first met her, she's like, I said, what's your last name? She said, Sarah Kemp, like the ice cream.
It stuck.
It stuck. It has, definitely. Well, welcome to our show today. I want to first send out some thanks to some sponsors and funders. Thank you for your generous, to our generous funders, Patrick and Amy Butler Foundation, Otto Bremer Trust, the Sawyer, Family Foundation, the Hardenberg Foundation. And you know what? I'm tossing this out to the whole listening community. We're a nonprofit organization at Minnesota Recovery Connection. And if you are enjoying this show, by all means, feel free to hit that little donate button on our website, minnesotarecovery.org. We can always use contributions to continue this incredible work that I have the privilege of doing. Right, Sarah?
Yes.
As well as, if you can't do that, we will always welcome volunteers at our organization. We've got certain meetings that you can join if you want to, but I'd just like you to all know that anything helps when you're working with the recovery community. So,
yes, it does.
Doesn't it, Sarah? Okay, so start us off, my friend.
What is right with you today, Caddy?
What is right with me today? It is a new year, and that's kind of what we're going to be discussing.
Yes.
Let's see. What's right with me today? I am excited about having some time to just sort of decompress a little bit. I think everybody around the world is sort of feeling like there's a lot going on.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. So I'm taking some time to just sort of be me. I'm going to have breakfast with someone, with my partner tomorrow, and just do some chilling. What about you? Just be. What's right with you today, Miss Sarah Kemp? Like the ice cream?
I think just being grateful with all that has happened in the world, and especially with the fires that are happening in California. Just being grateful that I have a home, like nothing big is happening here. Like we get to live our lives normally.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm grateful for.
Yeah, I was thinking about the devastation that's happening in California, and then the big snowstorm in the southern part of the United States.
Because they don't know what to do with all that snow.
Yeah, they're hurting. And I sometimes am very happy. I don't know if you know the term. We're in flyover land here in Minnesota. Yeah, the planes just go over us. They don't land here very often. In fact, they do quite often. But sometimes I'm just happy to live in a space where we kind of know what's going to come our way. Not many big surprises.
No, we know snow's coming this weekend and we can handle it. But
right, exactly. Yeah, we can just handle the weather that comes our way.
Yeah.
Now, when it was super dry this past year, that was hard for the gardener Caddy to deal with.
I imagine it
was.
Yes,
it definitely was. Well, Sarah, we're going to discuss today. We're at the first part of the 2025. And when we enter a new year, we tend to have what do we want to do?
Set resolutions, new goals, things like that.
We want to change it all up.
Yeah. New year, new me.
We're just going to just roll with everything. We want to change everything because last year was last year. This year is this year.
Yeah.
And before we came in, I pulled out some statistics.
You sure did.
I sure did. And sadly, one of the statistics is that they call it second Friday in January. The second Friday in January is often referred to as the quitter day. When many people will abandon their New Year's resolution or a goal that they've set. And I think that actually is kind of true.
And that's today.
I know.
That's today.
We kind of picked the topic perfectly.
Yes, we did.
This will be airing on a Saturday. So just know that we're taping a day ahead of time for all you people listening out there in listener land. But, I think sometimes we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, number one, right? And then we are in recovery and we're trying to like do all the right things. And we're like, okay, I'm going to set all these goals.
Or you start with one thing and then you're thinking you can do all the things.
Right. And what we do know is that that kind of pressure adds to the pressure of just being in the land of recovery.
Mhm.
You know, I'm coming off of an anniversary of a lot of years in recovery. And sometimes I think, well, now what am I supposed to do?
Mhm.
And I'm thinking, maybe just live life.
Yeah,
It's
have
okay.
fun.
Yeah. I don't have to set any of these like extraordinary goals.
Mm-mm.
So just as a I thought or an idea, have you set any New Year's resolutions that you're working towards?
We have, and by we, I mean my boyfriend and I, we're trying to eat healthier. So less sugar.
Okay.
So we went to the grocery store last week, and as Caddy knows, I love Oreos. So
any kind of Oreo, y'all. Any kind of Oreo.
We didn't buy Oreos, Reese's ice cream, none
Ooh,
of that.
Wow.
We're doing yogurt and granola in the morning now.
My goodness.
We got egg white wraps to do with tacos instead of regular taco shells because those are
bad for us. Yes. They have a
So
lot of the tasty stuff in them, right?
So the egg white shells are supposed to be better for you.
Okay.
So we're, it's little things that we're trying to do.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's like changing just a couple of things versus trying to change everything.
Yeah, because no, that's too much.
Yeah. No.
How about you, Miss Caddy?
Well, I don't know if I really actually said any.
I can come up with one for you.
I bet you can. I kind of taken a cue from Darnell in our office. I've been very good about bringing some berries and some yogurt in the morning to try to eat something because sometimes I pass by that place with the big M, yellow M in front of it.
Or you don't.
Or I don't at all. Yeah. And then I can be kind of crabby pants.
Yes.
Yeah. We know that doesn't work well. So I'm trying to really take a cue from, the people around us. And sometimes it's the people around us that can give us like, oh man, if I did that, that works really well. So eating better or eating more consciously. Yeah. That's the thing. My favorite ice cream is now not available at the grocery store anymore, which is
might be a good thing.
Yeah, I think, what is it called? It's called Candy Cane something. Kemp's makes it only during the holiday season.
Oh, yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, and I only bought one tub, and it took me, like 2 weeks to get through it, maybe. But the idea is that I got to cut down on some of that stuff, that refined sugar.
Even though it's so good.
Oh, so tasty, so tasty. So, yeah, so I think, realistically, I'm trying to do that. Now, so is my partner, which we have the same name and partners. Eric, even spelled the same way. Excuse me. And so the idea is that he came up to me last night and he's like, I just want to eat so bad. I almost stopped at the grocery store. I got the stuff I wanted. And I said, did you? And he said, no, I didn't. And I'm like,
that's
good.
Good.
Good on you. He goes, I did buy some frozen pizzas though. And I'm like, okay, you want to share one? Because he normally will indulge in possibly a full frozen pizza. And I said,
I couldn't too.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. I said, why don't we split it? And he's like, kind of gave me the side eye like, okay, fine. But then he's got to eat something else. So, but you know what? We split a pizza instead of eating an entire one, maybe on our own.
Because I can do that too. Or a whole thing of macaroni and cheese.
Oh,
I can do that too.
Oh, easy peasy. Yeah. Sometimes I do try to split those things up, just knowing that if it serves four,
I know.
Seriously,
one person.
Get like an eighth of a cup of of it. So yeah. So I think what we want to talk about is setting realistic goals, maybe some statistics that were pulled up, some ideas about how do we set just ideas for the new year. Recovery in and of itself is hard and complicated and
can be a goal within itself, which is an overwhelming goal for some.
Yeah.
So breaking things down.
Yeah. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about. So you could grab a piece of paper if you wanted to, or just listen and maybe pick up what seems like it might be helpful for you. We're just going to toss some stuff out there because we know that recovery is hard enough. And what can we do to just maybe move forward on a step or two or a thing or two? So when we come back from break, we're going to talk about 2025. What can it look like?
It can be amazing.
It can be amazing. So thank you for listening to Redefining Recovery, Recovery Revolution here at AM 950. I'll see you in a few. Love that happy music. I mean, it just kind of gets you going in your
It
chair.
does.
Yeah, just like, oh, yeah, we can do this. We're back, redefining recovery, recovery revolution, talking about recovery, kind of like having a conversation there, right, Sarah?
Yes, and goal setting.
Yeah, 2025. How can we take a look at it? So, having just discussed that, sometimes it's pretty easy to drop
Mm-hmm.
your resolution.
Yep.
And we're on second Friday of January, which is usually, they say it takes like 14 days to build a habit.
Yep.
And I know my partner, Eric, he's like 7 days in and he's like, I don't want to keep doing this good stuff. And I'm like, I know, we just have to keep trying. We just have to keep trying.
And it's important if you're doing like changing your diet, having a cheat day too, I've heard is beneficial.
Yeah.
So you're
for
not
sure.
like cutting everything out completely.
Yeah, because then you go into the crazy space.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we can do that just plain and simple, just living
Every
life.
day. Yeah. I can do that without anything.
Exactly. So some of the ideas we're going to just talk about, like, what are some of the standard year resolutions?
Mhm.
And so top of the list, what do you got there?
Lose weight and get fit.
Oh,
I
Lord.
feel like that's always number one,
Always number one.
especially right after the holidays when you're eating all the sweets and the big meals and
Getting all together with the peeps, having all kinds of parties. Yeah.
So I always feel like that's first.
Well, and it's funny when you think about it, we get to eat all kinds of foods. Like we go to other parties that we don't normally eat, and it's like this gluttony step.
Yep. And all the cookies that are, I mean, I'm a sweets person, so
Yeah, you are.
But all the cookies and sweets that are around too, and you just graze on those.
Yeah. So we think, okay, we got to lose weight.
Yep.
Got to get fit.
Yep.
And I think that's okay, but how do we do it? So we'll talk about like what that looks like.
Yep.
What's the next one on the list is a lot of people want to quit smoking.
Yep.
Or maybe vaping, what we can add now. It's like, there's a lot of conversation around ingesting smokified things. And, it can even go to cannabis use too. Sometimes people utilize cannabis for medical, sometimes recreation, sometimes a lot of different things. So when we think about the recovery community, there's a lot of things that people might move to if they're off of the chemical that they had bad experiences with. Would that be a fair thing to say?
Yes, I think so.
What's the next one that you got?
Learn something new.
This one can be all part of number one, getting fit.
It sure can.
Yeah.
Because you can learn to do a fitness class and learn a new
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know I've always wanted to get back into yoga, although my body doesn't bend the way it did even a few years ago. But yeah, learning something new, maybe learning to play games with people or to
or learn a new language.
Language is possible. Learn a new skill, maybe learn a new cooking style, learning to treat yourself better.
Yeah, that's a big one for a lot of people, I feel like.
Definitely. Eating healthier and dieting, that kind of goes into that weight loss. But one is eating better and one is actually doing something physically about it.
Yep. Spend more time with family.
Oh, boy. We've gotten kind of away from that sometimes, haven't we?
I would say add friends to that too. Yeah. Not just family.
Yeah. And I think when we speak about the recovery community, chosen family.
Yes.
There's many people. I've heard a story recently about someone who really had to just sort of let go of their, what would be called their blood family, because they just really didn't see eye to eye anymore. So then we have our chosen family.
Yeah.
And those are really important people. But I think, one of the things that, might discuss down the line today is that, COVID is still lingering around in that communication and that conversating with people. And, we all got used to texting.
We did. And I text. So that's how I communicate with people. It's really rare when somebody calls.
Yep.
Nowadays.
But now when you have that phone call, it's kind of nice. Yeah. Because you get to hear the intonations. You get to actually, conversations can actually flow, where in a text, it's sort of
you don't know
what the interaction is like. Yeah. Some people want to get out of debt and save money. We've all come through some financially strenuous times over the last 2-3 years. And, a lot of different things have changed economically. Things are getting better, which is great. But
especially in recovery, if you were like me, who had debt,
Uh-huh.
Took me a while to get out of it, and now I'm in a better spot. But, having that goal is a good thing, because then you can do other things when you get that.
A few more shekels in your pocket.
Yeah.
Well, and I think sometimes, I know for years and years and years of my substance use, I had mounting debt.
Yeah.
I just did. And so now maybe in recovery or thinking about recovery, you can actually take your head out of the sand and look at it,
Mhm.
because I know I just paid my minimum payments and just kind of like went forward.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just sort of putting on, as Sarah knows that I say big girl pants or big
Mhm.
boy pants.
And
And
doing
actually,
the things.
Yeah. Well, or just looking at it.
Yeah.
Kim in our office, what's Kim doing now? She's kind of pulled herself out of the sand, and what's she doing?
She has to do work on her finances and credit scores and things like that. And going to school. And so, she has goals that she's been wanting to do for the longest time. And now she put them into action, and they're coming to fruition now.
Yeah. Kim came into a conversation yesterday, and she was just like bounding with
She was
energy.
so excited.
Yeah, because she's a mature woman like myself, and we put off things like this because we feel intimidated by it, we feel overwhelmed by it. Somebody, she explained a story. Somebody actually shamed her in a
Mhm.
class years ago, and we just sit in that because we just sit in our shame all the time in many different ways.
Mhm. And now for her to be able to live out what she wants to do is freaking amazing.
Yeah. And she just sort of set some goals and pushed through the fear.
Yeah.
And
And same with Josie, actually.
Oh, really?
Josie, one of our recovery navigators. I think she was in the show last week or the
couple weeks ago, yeah.
she's going back to school too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
She starts Monday, I believe.
Okay.
So she has goals that she has, and she set things in motion so that she can do that too.
Yeah.
So,
and it takes a little time, maybe in your recovery, or finding a partner, not necessarily the partner of your life, but somebody to say, okay, I want to do these things. Can you walk alongside me?
mhm.
Can you give me some encouragement, or maybe just say, I'm not exactly sure what to do.
Sounds like working with a peer recovery specialist.
Imagine that.
That's the first thing that
Maybe
came to my
what we
mind.
do at Minnesota Recovery Connection. And there was somebody that came into the office yesterday, and he's having some job search difficulties.
Mhm.
So helped him sort of pull that together and sort of reaching out. So finding some resources around getting some other supports that he needs. And I think what came to my mind is that he wants to do that for somebody, but he also himself needed that. And so I pulled in one of our peer recovery specialists, certified peer recovery specialist, Alicia. And I said, hey, Alicia, I know you've got a couple resources around this. So for the listening audience, it might be people in recovery, but it might be your average person who's got their own things that they need to work on. And we carry a lot of fear around looking, I'm going to use the word stupid or dumb, or maybe,
or just saying it out loud too.
Yeah.
Just saying it.
Saying out loud, saying, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. Oh man, me too. You too. Me too. You too. Wow.
Right.
And all of a sudden you can take a little pressure off yourself and say, okay, I'm not alone. Because I think that happens a lot of people in recovery, but a lot of people who just maybe have a hard life circumstance
Mhm.
and feel like they are just this island. And it's like, no, you're not.
You're not.
There's a bazillion other people out there, but we have to have that trust.
Mhm.
And that's building trust with people, having a nice conversation, then sort of, kind of squeak around a conversation. You ever done
Mhm.
that, Sarah?
I have a couple times, yeah.
Tell me, what's the topic that you had to squeak
goodness.
around?
I don't remember, but I'm sure I've done it with my team at work. I'm sure I have, just to especially when the navigator started. I think I had to do that to earn their trust with me, because they're new in their job. They don't know who they've met me a couple times, but they don't know who I am.
Right.
So I'm sure I've done it with the navigators.
Yeah. Well, we have light and breezy conversations, which just sort of lead to, Caddy, the ever loving, tell me more.
And I've definitely pulled that card. I pulled that card.
It works. It works.
It does.
Yeah. So a couple other things, maybe some people want to travel or just go someplace new. I think
want to go somewhere new.
Where do you want to go?
I want to go to Sedona.
So beautiful. So good. Start saving your pennies.
That's where I want to go.
Why?
I've heard it's really beautiful, and just Arizona in general. I've heard is just a really cool place to visit because you got the
Mhm.
Grand Canyon, you got other, I can't name them right now, but
Mhm.
you have other places that you can go to,
Mhm.
and it's not here. Because I love it here and I will live here, but
And it's
just
not here. I like that.
but I like to travel.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Sedona is so special because it's such a spiritual place.
That's what I've heard. That's what Sabrina told me.
Yeah. It's so interesting when you usually fly into Phoenix, get in a car, and then you drive. And there is this line that you cross where you go from the desert to the Sedona orange land.
Mm,
The landscape just changes completely. It's really remarkable.
so that is my goal.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
She's traveling to a new place. Sometimes people want to be less stressed.
Yes,
What does that look like?
taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. I know for me, this year or last year, I guess I took a week off work during Christmas,
Yes, she did. She left me all alone at the office.
but it was wonderful for me.
Yeah.
Because it was a week away. I didn't go anywhere. I got to spend time with family and friends and stuff like that.
Hey, you never brought me your cookies you made.
I know. I ate them.
You.
I ate them. Sorry.
I
I can
feel
make you cookies this weekend.
No, you do not have to make me cookies. She sent me a note during her week off. She posted something on
I did,
Facebook.
and then I ate them.
And then she said, I'll bring you cookies. And when we come back, I'm like, yeah. And I just remembered. Mhm. Were they good?
Yes. I'll make you more.
No.
Anyway, but having that week off did a lot for my mental health. Just to get away and not think about work for a week, not check my email because I didn't.
I know you didn't. I was so proud of you.
So it's taking time for me.
Yeah.
And I've told myself I'm going to do that more this year. And I'm going to challenge Caddy to do the same thing.
Yes. Well, she works at it.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and I think that can be as simply as just taking time like away from whatever your workspace is. Like you could be working in a restaurant, take your break and go out and just breathe.
Yep.
And maybe not pick up our phones.
Yeah, our phones are a bad thing.
Yeah.
I love them, but I hate them.
Yeah. And I think, taking just time to like breathe and just close your eyes and just sort of be centered in a space. That was one of the recommendations we came across when we're sort of putting together this conversation. And sometimes we just need to be quiet.
And I tell everybody on my team at MRC to take their breaks, to take their lunch away from their desks, because to me, it's important to have that time where you're not looking at your computer or you're not by your phone or your desk phone, I should say.
Yeah. Even your own cell phone. I
Yeah.
mean, like putting that darn tootin' thing behind. And one of the things on many lists that's out there in the big world for both people in the outside the recovery community and in the recovery community, one of the things is like drink less or maybe use whatever your substance is less.
Oh, yeah.
And there are times that these holidays, people will sometimes go back to their substance use because we had a conversation before the holidays about the pressures around it, seeing people that you're not comfortable with. And maybe you've gone back to your substance use disorder. It's okay, but maybe you can look at setting goals for yourself to get back to where you want to be and figure that out again.
Yeah. Maybe set goals that you only do it on Friday night or, something that a harm reduction model is what that reminds me of.
Is that what you're talking about, is harm reduction?
I am.
What an amazing topic as well.
Yes.
Because what can happen is people will possibly go back to their substance use. And it's not because they go back deep into their, I'm going to use the word addiction, but they go back to a comfortable place.
Yep.
Because they're taking away maybe some of the stress or some of the pain
or thoughts.
And then what can we do to say, okay, maybe that's not working for me anymore, but I can look at this and I can set a goal. I can set a parameter around it. Like you said, only on a particular day or only a certain amount. One of the conversations I was having recently with someone is that they made a goal with somebody who used to pick up their alcohol and start drinking right away in the morning. And that is the goal, was that they were only going to drink 4 whatevers in a given day. And this person achieved that goal.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, you go from drinking from the morning to drinking just 4. That is amazing.
Yeah.
And that's reducing harm, and then also this person was giving their keys to a neighbor or a friend or someone when
So
they
they wouldn't
did
drive.
imbibe, so they wouldn't have that opportunity potentially
Mhm.
to either go to a space to drink with other people or go back
That's
to.
awesome.
I know. I thought that was really, really cool. And, these are the little things. These are the goals that people can set for themselves.
Hmm.
And having not been a person who's used either methamphetamine or any of the opiates, that might be a harder task
Yeah.
to pull back on as I'm
Mhm.
looking at Sarah right in
Yeah.
the eyes.
Yep. Hmm.
But
You can't just casually use either of those.
no, well, some people have,
In
but
my opinion,
yeah, it's hard.
it's hard.
We just know it's hard.
Yeah.
Plain old hard. So, forever, I gotta stop saying a word there. For everyone who might be listening, we want to talk to our larger audience, and we might think of the people who love people that use substances or who are in recovery. When you want to help set a goal with somebody, or you want to set a goal for yourself, be realistic.
Yep.
Don't set 14 or 15 goals, because guess what?
That's a lot
And
to keep track of
yeah,
and to try to do.
yeah. So, some facts around setting goals is be specific. Like, I'm trying to eat personally. I'm
Mhm.
saying to myself, I'm trying to just eat less.
Yeah.
Just eat less. And then be realistic. Now, when that whole pizza is screaming on Friday night and I feel
Mhm.
like I want to imbibe, maybe I might. But if I've eaten less all week, I might not be as hungry and not be able to take in that much
Yeah.
food.
Mm-hmm. It takes time for a change to become an established habit.
Oh,
I think we said earlier 14 days.
yeah. 14 days, things become more able to do. And then when you hit that like 30
A month.
days, that's when actually you've also changed a little bit of your brain chemistry.
Mhm.
And if you've actually been exercising or eating properly for that amount of days, you actually have changed the whole body system.
Mhm.
So when people say you got to keep it up, do your best. And if
Yep.
you fall off, pick it back up again.
Yeah, and there's no right or wrong
No,
either.
no, but we beat ourselves up,
Oh
Sarah?
yes, easily. I can do it.
In a heartbeat.
But I just want people to understand that if you start a goal such as eating better and you fall off,
Mhm.
that's okay.
Mhm.
No one's going to shame you, no one's going to judge you for it. Okay, I won't. But
But
I think it's important to know that you can get back on it.
Yep, we can all get back on the proverbial horse.
And there's no timeline.
And I think it's also super important, wouldn't you agree, Sarah, that what we need to do is not beat ourselves up.
Yeah.
That's what we're so good at. People that struggle with substance use that are in recovery, we beat ourselves up while we were in our addiction, when we
Mhm.
just couldn't stop, when we couldn't make a good decision. And so, just I'm bad, I'm shameful, nobody loves me, I've disappointed this person, I've disappointed that person. And then we set a goal in these, New Year's resolution, I'm all going to get better.
Right.
And then
If it doesn't work out, and then that whole tape
starts
plays.
playing again.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's one of the common themes, we talk about in our what's talked about in AA groups and other groups, that we have these old tapes. And I think it doesn't matter who you are on the planet, we have old behaviors that we want to get rid of. And then when we disappoint ourselves, we go back to, well, I'm still that same old bad person.
Because it's what we know.
Yeah.
And in a weird way, it's what we're comfortable with.
Yeah. Because we've been there, we've done that.
And we know what's going to happen with it.
Right. And that's, I now have a new visual when I train my class. I've got these two roadways.
Mhm.
We're used to this one track of thinking, and then trying to change is really hard. It's like, it's like going a different way to work or going a different way to the grocery store. It's so easy to just go the way that you know.
Yep.
But I know one of the things I try to do for myself is I try to take different ways around different places,
Mhm.
because then I see different things and I'm thinking, oh, well, that's a really cool house that's got all kinds of Christmas lights on, or that's a really cool house that's got a new paint job. I wouldn't have seen that for 6 months if I hadn't gone down this way.
Right.
So trying something new can be really, really helpful to just sort of open up your mind. So, and roadblocks don't mean failure. And the fact I think that's really what we just said is if you hit, some sort of path that isn't working for you, it's okay.
Yeah.
Realign. Or ask for help.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
know, that's the big one. That's the big one. Yeah, they say that 8% of people actually follow through with their goals. So that means 92% of people don't follow through. But don't think of it as a failure. Think of that I've just got to
Yeah, I don't like
readjust.
that word.
Yeah, I got to readjust.
Mhm.
You know, I set too many things in place. Because I know I would very typically say, okay, I'm going to eat better, I'm going to exercise, and I'm going to call people rather than text. Well, 2 out of 3 are going to fail. One I might do sort of haphazardly. And so we got to be realistic.
Mhm.
So, what are some of the strategic ways that we can set goals?
Writing down goals. People who write down their goals are more likely to achieve them because it's a visual. You see
Mhm.
it every day in your kitchen or your bathroom or wherever you want to post it.
And I think breaking down a goal too.
Mhm.
It's like here's the goal, and then if I do this today, I could do, or maybe do this tomorrow, or this the next day, or the next day. Break it down, make it
Yeah.
simple.
Setting time-bound goals. People who set time-bound goals and report their progress are more likely to succeed.
Yeah. So if you set a real like specific time frame and you set something up so that you can sort of look back and reflect on it.
Oh, sure.
You know, I think sometimes this is where journaling or
Telling somebody.
or having like a calendar. I know a good friend of mine, Terry, she's so amazing. I was at her house down in Rushford back a while ago. She has a calendar on her wall and she has little codes for things. And I'm like, girl,
Wow.
I know. Excuse me. I asked her, I said, okay, what does the stuff in red mean? And she goes, that's the stuff I got to do every day.
Oh,
And I was like,
Hmm.
oh, okay.
that's a smart
But
idea.
she fills it in on a daily basis. She doesn't like have it on there the whole time so that maybe if she misses it, she can say, okay, I didn't do it yesterday, so I got to pick that up again
Oh, sure.
today. I thought, okay, that's a method.
Yeah.
That's a method.
Sharing goals. Sharing goals with others increases the likelihood of success.
Having a partner
Yeah.
in whatever you're doing. You know what you and I should do?
No.
She's going to look at me. No. See, now Sarah and I are seriously different sizes. So I'm 5'10" and you're
4'11".
okay. So when we walk side by side, she's running, I'm just walking at a clip.
Yes.
And I was just thinking, what we could do on a regular basis?
Walk down the hallways in the office. Yes. We could.
We're going to do that.
Okay.
Maybe at least once a day.
Yes.
Let's
we
do
should.
that once a day.
Yes.
We're
saying it right now to all you folks so you can hold us accountable.
call us out on it. You can just go on our radio page for notes and say, Sarah and Caddy, did you do your walk down the hallway at least once this week? But you know, it's like that. That's like having a partner in something, doing something that somebody can say, okay, Caddy, get off your shush.
Yeah.
And
Because we need to.
Yeah, we got to do something.
Because we sit a lot at work.
Oh, geez and rice.
Yes.
Yes.
Receiving feedback. Employees are more committed.
People.
Okay. Are more committed to their goals when they receive regular feedback.
Okay, so we just called out our entire listening audience to call us out on if we're taking that walk. So we just laid it out there. Oh dear.
Setting specific goals and challenging goals lead to higher performance than easy goals. I don't know if that's exactly true.
You know, again,
it depends on the goal, I think.
Yeah, I think maybe setting if you have a specific goal that you want, but this is where the idea of you say you're going to eat better all year. How?
Yeah.
You know, putting together those points of interest that you want to meet. Like you're right now really focused on not doing any extra sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Good enough for the next 30 days. Can you and Eric not eat any additional sugar?
We can try. And what I've done too, I haven't been the best at it recently, but I like to do a weekly menu.
Really good. Yeah.
So then I don't always stick to it, but at least it's an idea.
It's something that you can work towards, and you may not achieve it right away, but you've got something in place, and you can pick it up the next week if you fall off or whatever the case may be. This thing says set multiple goals.
No. Wow.
Wow, she was intent on that one.
Well, no, because I think if you set too many, then it can be too much.
Yeah. And it's so easy to fall off that.
Yeah. And it's easy to set too many and then fall off, and then you're mad at yourself. And
then you just sort of blow it all to the
Yeah,
wind. You say,
so-
well, I can't do all those, so I'm not going to.
so let's try with one and see what happens.
Yeah, we're going to go on a quick break. We'll be back. So thank you for listening to Redefining Recovery, a recovery revolution. See you in a minute. Jamming in my seat to the tunage. Sarah's across from me. She's
Having
doing
fun too.
Yeah, she's kind of doing the side to side. Here we are. What do you think about all this, Sarah? What do you think about this goal setting, looking at the new year, 2025?
It makes me excited
Yeah,
in a way.
yeah.
I am kind of one of those new year, new me, at least for like a week.
You're right on track.
But then having my Eric be on board with eating better helps a lot. I know we talked about this earlier, but having someone, an accountability partner.
Yep.
Helps me
Yep.
and helps him. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
And it might not be perfect all year long, but we do our best.
Yeah. And that's about all we can do. And I mean, we think about how recovery feels to people, and so there are people that have had reuses.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that have really gotten down on themselves. Then they find their way back to recovery, and then maybe life happens. And I think maybe the idea of setting something in place is just something to work towards, but never feel bad if you don't achieve it. Just say, well, how do I need to readjust?
Mm-hmm. And do I have to set smaller goals to get to that?
Right. And that's
that
what we
goal.
do all the time at MRC.
With
you
our
know.
peer recovery specialists.
Yeah. If somebody wants to, I many times, and y'all have heard this a million times, somebody wants to go get their driver's license. Okay, cool.
Do you know how to do that? And if not, like, what do you need to? What are the steps that you need
to do?
Yeah.
Well, now we can just go right next to our office space.
Yes.
We have a new lovely neighbor next to us at Minnesota Recovery Connection, at 800 Transfer Road. But we are excited to have them. But there's a lot of folks walking through our doors now at our building.
Yes, there is.
And we're just going to leave that there because it's been an adjustment. But you know what? It's a new year. It's an adjustment. How are we going to move forward with it?
And I think we're doing quite well.
We've had some good discussions, because actually, rather than like going na on an email to people, or na and being sort of sharp with folks,
trying to come up with solutions.
You know, and that's what this whole idea is about. And that is, how do we get better? How do we stay on a track that we believe we can do, rather than somebody saying, here, this is what you're going to do, and here's how you're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Many times we don't follow through with
No.
that stuff.
Mm-mm.
No, it doesn't work. So some of the stuff we were sort of talking about, taking a deep breath in terms of like setting realistic goals, like taking a deep breath, taking a walk during a day, taking a break from social media. I know I'm a swiping queen at night. It's terrible.
Yeah, I've thought about doing that just a month and see how much I actually miss it.
I think a month is a really long time.
Yes, but it might be good.
I'm going to try a week. Again, setting realistic goals.
That's true.
I mean, coming home, because I'm a bad manager at work, because I'm going to always look at my phone and check my emails just to make sure that the building hasn't burnt out or something.
Right.
But then it's so easy to just slip over to that other side of my phone.
Mm-hmm.
So, ideas for folks, even take a night off and see how it feels. Something to think about. One of the things that Sarah said that our director has, and I've done in the past, make a vision board.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody doesn't know what a vision board is, it's like gathering up, and now this is a new way we have to think about it, either printing off something from the Google.
Or
magazines, which a lot of people don't have anymore,
or just writing it out.
Yeah, you could write the words that mean something to you on a board that you look at each day and go, hey, I'm looking for peace and harmony. I'm looking for a better diet. I'm looking for my dream Sedona vacation.
Right.
I'm looking to go for a walk in the woods someplace. So making a vision board, writing it down, even, taking some colored pencils and
Making it colorful and fun.
just so you can reflect on it.
Yep.
We talked about calling loved ones.
Yes.
Calling people. It's, I have a friend, Terry, I mentioned her already. She lives down in Rushford, and we got on the phone on Sunday. We talked for 2 hours.
Wow.
I know, but we just kind of rambled on.
Yeah.
And the next topic came up, or she said something about something. I'm like, oh, and because that doesn't happen in a text.
No.
Or if it does, it gets really long and really hard.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So picking up the phone, or maybe sending somebody an email that you haven't emailed in a long
Or
time.
actual mail, like a letter.
A card, maybe send a card to somebody. Now that costs a little bit of money.
You can make a card.
You could make a card, yeah. It still costs some money to mail it though now. It's like 70 some cents to mail it.
That was a Debbie Downer.
Well, it's a reality. So we have to, if you don't have the resources for it, what is a way that you can?
So yes, email is free.
Right. And actually, I learned from the person who came into our office yesterday, going to the library, you can use email the library for free. So if you don't have access to that.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And this person said that you also have like $5 free a week, I think it is, of making copies of stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So what's really nice is that there are resources out there. Hence Minnesota Recovery Connection, where we connect people with resources. Not that was a plug or anything.
Not at all.
But yeah, just connecting with people. And that's what we do on a daily basis all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that it makes a difference when you look at people in the eye.
Yes.
So can you make that coffee date or make that walk date? It depends upon, what your resources are. Or if somebody who does live far away from you, can you make that phone call?
Or a video, like a Zoom or a video,
Zoom or video chat or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great thing. Geez, golly, forgot about that whole option. Wow, look at you all
forgot about
sassy.
Zoom.
I forgot. Yeah, me forget about Zoom. And yikes. Finding a new place to maybe go have a cup of coffee, or having a different meal, try something different, finding a different way to go home, either if you drive or if you use transport, go a different direction. Maybe you might not go shopping, but maybe go window shopping if it isn't too much of could be a little stressor.
Yeah.
I know. It's like, I want that. And you don't have the resources. But sometimes just going to a mall and just literally walking the windows, just sort of see what's out there. Being willing to have, this is something that I think came up right when we were sort of devising this. And I think we've gotten to a place in our many communities is that we are not conversating very well. We want to have a discussion. We want it to be a debate people about things versus having a dialogue.
There's a lot of people out there that like to do that.
And I think we all could benefit from listening to another person's point of view and not arguing about it.
Yeah.
Because we all have different perspectives for different reasons.
And you can learn,
and we're going to agree to disagree,
right?
But be peaceful about it. There's a lot of changes coming in the next period of time. And how can we get along with our fellow human rather than say, you're this or you're that, or you believe in that and I believe in this, and so we can't get along. Yeah. Well, we got along before.
So why
now? Yeah. Why now? So bringing down the temperature a little bit and having in those either Zoom faces, chat face talks in front of people conversations.
Because not over text. Those are not text messages.
That gets really ugly.
Or
really
Facebook.
Fast. Yeah. And I did something the other day that really made me feel good. And it was a lesson that my grandmother gave me, which is random act of kindness, or if you have the means, donating or volunteering your time or maybe your money to individuals or organizations. Because when we give of ourselves, when we give our lived experience to people, it's something that can open up a whole new door for someone. Where have you volunteered? You volunteered someplace, didn't you?
No.
I thought you did.
I don't remember.
You don't remember? Okay.
No, but I will say this for our volunteers at Minnesota Recovery Connection, a lot of them love coming to our organization because they feel like they're giving back and they're in a safe place.
And they're part of something.
And they're part of something.
Yeah. Yeah. So that might be the great tune to end on that. When you give of yourself and give of your personhood to another human being, it's good for you as much as it's good for them. So, Sarah.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
And have a great 2025.
Yeah. Caddy with Minnesota Recovery Connection at Redefining Recovery, a Recovery Revolution. Love you. Happy 2025.
Bye.
Bye.